Tajrik, you just have to stop your video feed if you're able to do so, because I can only see a picture of you on the screen. If you can hear me, Tajrik, if you could just stop your video feed for me. Tajrik, can you hear me? There we go. Perfect. Thank you. Just good evening, everybody. Welcome to the Western Cape Teachers Forum, a forum where we educate through dialogue so that we can empower ourselves with the knowledge and skills that we gain, so that we can excel in our respective spaces and shine in our corners wherever we find ourselves. Now, on this motivational Monday evening, we have angels that we are chatting to tonight. Now, some time ago, there was a video that went viral from a certain school in one of our suburbs here in Cape Town, and a random act of kindness that were performed by some of the learners, the Matric learners. But to give you some kind of an idea of what had happened, I'm going to play a little video clip for you, for those who have not seen this particular story yet. So just stay tuned for the next minute or so.
So basically, it was the Sunday night before everything started. So I came late from work, and I was tired, and we were writing the next day, and I went to go study. And I woke up very early, but I felt like I didn't have enough sleep. And anyway, later on, after we were done and school came out, on my way, I felt dizzy and drowsy because of the whole day, and I still didn't eat and everything. So I collapsed, and my friends was there, but their focus was on me. So they caught me as I fell, but as I fell, someone pickpocketed me and they took my phone. Now the problem is I don't really care about materialistic life, and my phone that was stolen, but everything that was on my phone really meant a lot to me. My university applications, all my schoolwork, and everything was there on. So it was hard for me to go through, and it was difficult, but I managed to push through. But as time went on, things started getting more, my load started getting more. But then my friends, at first I didn't think they really care, but not care as much as they did. I was very surprised. My Matric jacket was the last on my list of priorities. But what I can say is, the stress load, it did impact my ability and my potential. Like I know I can get so much if I'm focused on something and only that something, and that really intertwined and it caused me to. But I still managed either way. I still managed, but what they did for me was they really showed me how much they actually care about me. And the thing that made me cry was the fact that they planned it all along, and I didn't know nothing about it. They planned everything. So it took them like a week to plan it, but I didn't know. They only told me.
All right. So, colleagues and friends and followers of the forum, that was just a short extract of an interview that Tashreeq participated in. Now, students at Windsor High School in Lansdowne, they made headlines recently for being the best humans in the world. Now, Tashreeq Duvey, the gentleman that you saw on the video clip earlier, he's from Hanover Park. And what happened was, in short, he was robbed whilst collapsing on his way home from school. Now, the robbers took advantage of Tashreeq in a very vulnerable moment to gain from him, and it was so violating that one can only imagine how Tashreeq must have felt when he recovered and realized what had happened to him. Now, tonight's guest, we've got Mrs. Van Rooy, who's a grade 12 teacher at Windsor High School. We've got Simba Mashangeti. He's a matriculant or part of the class of 2020. We've got Ziad Mali, and we've got Tashreeq Duvey, the matriculant that you saw in the video earlier. And they will be joining us now as they will come online or on screen in very shortly from Windsor High School in Rondebosch. So Tashreeq, Simba, Ziad, can you guys come on board and just greet everybody? Thank you very much. Tashreeq, let's start with you. If you can unmute your microphone quickly. Now, by now, everybody knows what had happened to you. As the video went viral in a matter of minutes, the initial video went viral. And so when it was captured by Ms. Roxanne Carter, a parent, now talk to us about the effects that this incident had on you after it happened, and how were you able to deal when you with what had happened to you once you realized what had happened to you?
After the video went viral, random people messaged me like by the loads, by the thousands, and it was overwhelming for me, and it, it, it impacted me a lot because I wasn't able to keep up with it as it was so many people. Some of the people were for good reasons. They were there to donate and send money for me, but other people were just for other reasons like companionship and things like that. Things that I didn't really have time for, and it's people. Some people would continuously call me, people I don't even know, and it would just disturb me. Disturb me in my studying time and everything. And yeah.
And I mean, I can imagine, I mean, and a lot of people were quite concerned, I would imagine, about what had happened to you. And you mentioned in your video clip earlier that you part of your, what had been lost on your previous phone was a university application. And I believe that you've got ambitions to become a teacher. Is that correct?
Yes, definitely.
All right. Okay. Have you made application, or are you in the process of that? Is somebody assisting you with that?
No, there's nobody assisting me with that, but I've already gained all my emails, as I still have my same email address, and I've completed everything and I'm up to date.
All right, perfect. Now, I understand that you live with your mother and your siblings, and that you assist your mom financially by working weekends or over weekends and after hours. Now, talk to us about this weekend job that you hold down, and how long you've been able to do this.
So the weekend job that I'm doing is catering, and I've been doing it for like the past 3 years now.
Okay.
Since I was, yeah. And what we do is we do waitering. We serve people at the tables with the food, and once the function is done, we clear the tables, we clean up. Sometimes at suppers we would leave late nights, like the next day basically, depending on the program and the time. Yeah.
Yeah. And you mentioned in your video clip earlier that you were exhausted. Was that as a result of working after hours, or was it just natural exhaustion?
No, that was the result of working, and then from work coming home, and then studying, and then sleeping for like an hour, waking up, and then going to school.
All right, all right. Okay, now let's bring Mrs. Van Rooy into the conversation at this stage. Now, Mrs. Van Rooy, it appears that the Windsor class of 2020 is quite an exceptional bunch, and so as adults, we've got so much to learn from them. Now, would you mind shedding some light into the character of Tashriq and also the class of 2020 from Windsor High School and how you experienced them at this stage?
Good evening, listeners. The class of 2020, I'll speak a bit about the class of 2020 at Windsor High School. I think I can really commend all our grade 12 learners at this stage because they've been through a very tough year. I think being in Matric on its own presents so many challenges. And of course, this year with COVID, there's been even more challenges, and they've actually just been focused and they've been consistent throughout this year. And now my very own register class, 12Q, they hold a real special place in my heart. I think they know that. And as a group, I think they're a group of fantastic human beings. Um, I'm not saying that they're perfect, but like all young people, they have their on days and they have their off days. But the 12Q, majority of it is on days. They're very committed, they're very enthusiastic, they're always willing to give their best. And this is the feedback that I get from all the other educators. I'm never getting any negative comments or reports. Everything I hear about them is positive. And even in my own experience working with them, they're just a fantastic group of learners. And we have, I think, in terms of, I'm the life science educator, we have so much fun when we learn. So as a result of that, I'm truly going to miss them when they leave this year.
Yeah.
And then Tashriq is an exceptionally bright young man. He stands out from the rest. He seems to have a very holistic approach to his learning. He's good at sport, particularly athletics, because this year he was the leader, the house leader of his athletics group. And he's the type of learner, he wants to do all the events. He wants to do high jump. He wants to do everything. So that's the type of learner he is. He gives his best in whatever he can do, he will do. You ask him, Tashriq, won't you go and do this? He will do it. So it comes as no surprise that he was part of the Western Cape athletics team
Wow.
for the 1,500 meters, the under 19 1,500 meters. And I can remember so clearly with the inter-school sport, the very first event of the day was won by Tashriq Dube, the 1,500 meters. So he holds a special place in our heart. Academically, he's one of our top learners. He's always striving to improve his results, to work harder, to do better, to achieve more. Very positive, very self-motivated.
Sure.
Despite the challenges in his life, you don't see that in Tashriq when he comes to school. He presents, he's never, sitting on the pity pot. He's just giving it his all and like very, very positive,
Wow.
always in a good mood. You
That,
know?
that that is such an amazing and an amazing testimony, such a well-rounded individual. We'll get to the other two in a second, but I just want to check with you. Now, we know that the Matrics, especially their curriculum or learning program, had not been curtailed or adapted as a result of COVID-19 as opposed to the rest of the grades. So how have they been able to respond to the demands of the grade 12 context, as it were, for 2020? And how are you guys able to keep them motivated, especially in a time such as this?
Um, Lee, we've had, even in the times when it was level 5 and level 4 lockdown, as educators, the grade 12 educators, we already made contact with our learners. So even though it was lockdown, I had my Zoom lessons, I think about 3 times a week with learners. We shared work via WhatsApp groups. We had, we tracked our learners.
Mhm.
If any of them weren't responding, we would phone them. and try to just get them on board and keep them on board. Obviously, when schools reopened at the start of June, we had quite a number of comorbidity learners, so they never came to school, but we have a program for them to sort of keep them engaged. We have Zoom lessons for them,
Yeah.
and we have a specific educator who's in charge of that particular program. And then the rest, you know, we've had school every single day. We've been encouraging them on a daily basis. We preach and preach and preach some more, reminding them all the time to stay focused, reminding them to prepare adequately.
Yeah.
And I think just a continued coaching of exam techniques.
Yeah.
That was the focus this year.
Yeah.
We never let them lose sight. And when we see they're starting to stay absent and starting to fall by the wayside, we get in there and we follow up and we get them back.
Yeah.
So it's just this continued support of them as the months progressed.
Yeah.
And we just never let up.
Yeah, so it's basically keeping your finger on the pulse all the time, and
all the time.
And the results speak for itself. Look at these fantastic learners. Now, Ziad, let's bring you into the conversation quickly. Now, you guys planned this this act all along, without Tajrik even knowing about this. Now, take us through from the beginning. You everybody heard what had happened, right? So, what prompted this group or you guys to actually do this for Tajrik?
What actually prompted me was hearing Tashrik's story and hearing how he managed to keep himself motivated through not only COVID circumstances, but through his own difficult circumstances. I would say that really motivated me to just push through the next 3 months of this year, because it's going to be incredibly difficult for all the grade 12s. And just to show my gratefulness towards him, I acted out of pure instinct, no plan, nothing really was, I would say, going through my head. I just messaged my grade 12 class in the WhatsApp group, and I asked them, look, you guys, I have an idea. Let's all save up for a phone for Duvi. I think he really deserves it, and he would really appreciate it. And also, a cell phone at this time, I think every Matric learner would really need a cell phone, especially through the learning process. So I think it would benefit him in many ways. So basically what had happened was, after I sent that message, the next day, I secretly collected money from everybody in my class. And throughout the week, I looked for a phone on Facebook Marketplace, a second-hand phone. And I eventually found one. And then I bought it, came to school, showed everyone, except for Duvi, of course.
Yeah.
And there happened to be leftover money. And then Simba actually gave the idea that we buy the Matric jacket. So we didn't really expect it, but, you know, it came anyway. So we bought him the Matric jacket as well, because why not?
Wow, no, you guys are the real heroes in this instance, man. Wow. And I'll keep saying it, us as adults have so much to learn, especially in, you know, COVID has come and gone, well, not gone really, but it has presented so many challenges in the school context. And we as humans and adults even, we tend to focus on the negative almost instantaneously. And yeah, you guys have actually taught us such a valuable lesson that we need to carry one another's burdens. And that is a beautiful, beautiful spirit and characteristic to display. Now, Simba, let's get you into the conversation here. And it didn't just end up with a cell phone. You guys even went as far as getting a Matric jacket for him. Now, when you guys realized that this act of kindness went viral, how did you guys respond to this? What was the feel? What was the vibe like in the Matrics?
Oh, I was very surprised. But I felt like that's well deserved, because a person like Tazrik, right, he deserves everything coming to him, because he puts that kind of positive energy out to the world. And I believe that's some type of law of attraction, because the universe rewarded him with this phone and the jacket and all the money that he has been receiving. So like when we got all this news about Facebook and all the radio stations and interviews, I was happy for him. I was happy that he was elevating, basically. I said it's elevating. I was happy that he was elevating and that people are actually noticing how hard us as young people are working to keep each other up and getting good marks despite this COVID-19 pandemic happening in South Africa.
Sure. No, amazing stuff, man. But now let's bring Duvi. Can we bring you back into the conversation quickly? Now, the parent who had filmed the video, the original video, where the matrics or where the boys handed the two items over to you, Miss Carter. Apparently, there was a crowd fund that was started, and my information tells me that over 100,000 rand had been collected thus far. Talk to us about that.
So basically, after the video went viral, the Jean's mother, Auntie Roxanne, she contacted me and told me that there's people willing to offer me money. And at first I didn't want to accept it, but she told me I really need it and I shouldn't be ashamed of it, and I just need to take all the help coming my way. So I agreed, and she started a campaign. And at first, the target was 55,000 rand, and we didn't know we were even going to reach 55,000 rand. And as days went by, the amount of donations in the campaign just increased, and it increased and it increased until it exceeded, up till today, almost double the amount that it is now.
Sure. No, that is amazing. And just for my own enlightenment, Ziad and Simba, were you guys interviewed prior to tonight, or was it Tajrik that was approached all the time? Or Simba or Ziad?
We were both approached before,
yeah,
on the youth show.
Okay.
And yeah, by the Swan as well.
No, fantastic, because I think this is a shared effort, and you guys initiated this thing. Beautiful. Now let's start with Tajrik, and then we give Ziad and then somebody in that order. Now, COVID-19, as Matrics, I remember when I was in Matric, the one thing that you look forward to was a Matric ball. There's the Matric camp, there's the Matric breakfast. There's quite a number of events in your final year that one looks out to. But besides obviously being the seniors of the school, now when COVID-19 hit us earlier this year, so many things was cancelled as a result. Now, if you had a magical reset button that you could press right now for 2020 to start all over, would you hit that button, Tajrik?
Actually, I wouldn't hit that button, because I believe everything happens for a reason, and COVID-19 coming into our lives happened for a reason. And if it wasn't for COVID-19, I wouldn't have gotten the cell phone that I did before that got stolen. And that cell phone, specific cell phone, I wouldn't have it on the day that I walked from school, and it wouldn't be stolen. And it's basically everything happens for a reason. It's just the way the universe works, like Simba said. And yeah, I wouldn't reset anything. I would keep everything the way it is.
All right. What's the one thing that COVID-19 had taught you, Tajrik?
It taught me to stay strong. It basically taught me to stay strong and not to let anything keep me down. And it was basically, for me, that was a motivation to, now that everyone is going to collapse and give in to this COVID-19, it's my perfect opportunity for me to stand out. So, yeah.
Fantastic. Ziad, your thoughts? If you had that reset button right now in the palm of your hand, how would you respond to it?
To be honest, I would not reset this year, because this year it taught me a lot of things, if I'm being honest. Like at the beginning of lockdown, I was super lazy, but then as the weeks progressed, I think it made me realize that, no matter what happens in this world, the world is not going to stop moving, not for anyone. So I think it's best that we move with it, and we shouldn't let anything get in our way of achieving what we want. And like Duvi said, none of these things would have happened if it wasn't for COVID. So In that sense, no, I really wouldn't want to reset this year.
Ziad, in one sentence, what is the one thing that nobody knows about Ziad Bali?
Um, I don't think there's anything
So, you,
nobody really.
so you're an open book, you say?
Yeah, I would
All
say
right,
that.
all right. Simba, let's go over to you. You've got the reset button at your disposal. Talk to us. How are you going to approach this thing?
The exact same way as my friends feel. I choose to see this pandemic as a test, actually, because this is a test, right, to see whether you are able to stand on your own 2 feet or you are able to fall. And like this has taught me actually to be self-reliant and so more self-motivated, even though you have people helping you, but you have to look out for yourself at the end of the day, because at the end of the year, you're the one that's writing that exam test, nobody else.
Yes. Now, Simba, as this pandemic and the challenges that it brought for 2020, has that somewhat influenced your plans post matric or after school?
Yes, it actually made me like I actually had time during the lockdown to actually think very clearly about where I want to be next year and how I'm going to get there. What steps am I going to take? It made me like made me realize like a detailed plan, made me make a detailed plan about my life after matric.
Okay. So Tashriq wants to become a teacher. What are your plans in terms of careers? What are you planning on?
Um, I want to be a creative director and a marketing manager.
Wow, fantastic. Wow. Well done. And I wish you all the success in that particular plan. Now, before we get to the next question, and we're almost at the end of this particular segment, there's quite a number of people that are tuned in here this evening. And thank you very much for your support, colleagues and friends and followers. Now, I cannot unfortunately mention each and every one of you because there are simply just too many to mention. But thank you very much for your ongoing support. And thank you for your messages that you've sent through. Um, Somebody mentioned something earlier. If I can pick it up quickly. No, I'm not going to be able to get it now. But anyways, but thank you very much, colleagues. Oh, here we go. What a beautiful story. Our country need more people like this. Instead of breaking each other down, we're lifting each other up. Well done, guys. Well done, Windsor High, grade 12, our future leaders. And that's coming from Samantha Aronsa. And somebody else, David Miller, that is the CEO of Naptosa Western Cape. He says, cutting edge relevance again, Lee Hoffmann. You need to get your own radio TV slot. Okay. Thank you, Mr. Miller. We appreciate that. But then he further goes on to say, more need to hear you. Thank you for your contribution to education. And then congrats, Windsor High School. Well, there you have it. And there's quite an, oh yeah, Alan Herbert says, love the story. Instead of raising your fist for fighting, raise your fist in solidarity for those in need. And that is exactly the type of people that we need. Alan O'Neill says, taking initiative is a very good leadership skill. And you already showed that you have the project management skills. So Ziad, Simba, Tagi, love these positive boys. That's coming from Sandra Adams, Bianca, Blanche. Matisa says, Tajriq, may all your dreams come true. And so there's quite a number of comments coming through. Alia Abraji, I'm hoping that I'm pronouncing it correctly, ma'am. She said, well done, lads, and miss. Okay, and then there's quite enough. I'll take one more. Ilana Daker says, this makes me so happy to see the adults of tomorrow still care about others' needs. This does my heart good. Really a beautiful story that made me cry when I looked at this video. And so I can go on and on. So Sandra says, keep the attitude, touch the world. Great ambassadors of Windsor High. Well done, class of 2020. That's coming from Shamima Lombard. Yeah, and then there's just so many. Devin or Devin Naidu, you guys are truly inspirational. Guys, if you have some time afterwards, please log onto the page and go look at the comments that are advanced towards you. Unfortunately, our time is not going to allow me to read each and every one of you, but thank you so much, colleagues, and friends and followers for sharing so beautifully your comments to our learners and to Ms. Van Rooy. Now, Ms. Van Rooy, let's bring you back into the conversation as we prepare to land this plane tonight. Now, what message of support and encouragement do you wish to share with the class of 2020 at this stage?
To all the matriculants out there across the country, especially Windsor High School matriculants, you're very dear to us. We love you. and my own very class 12Q. I want to say, firstly, you've got to set yourself achievable goals. That's the first thing that you have to do. Then you work hard to realize those goals, to achieve success. It's never too late. Even if you haven't done anything until now, you start today, you start tonight. Be brave enough and courageous enough to invest in yourself by chasing the results that you dream of. And then you stay focused. I told my own grade 12 crew that this weekend, boss. You stay focused and you don't stop until your dreams and your goals are realized. So that's my motivational message to the class of 2020 in South Africa.
Beautiful, and keep pushing forward. And just one, what would you like to say to our colleagues that are, especially our matric teachers that are in the same boat as yourself?
I think what to the colleagues, I think it's not over yet. There's still some work to do. There's still some revision to do. Try to squeeze in as much revision and exam technique coaching as we can whenever we get a chance. It's not over until it's over, so we must avail ourselves whenever we can to invest some more into the class of 2020. And I'm sure at the end of this, we will see the fruits of our labor, and it will be positive.
Beautifully said, Ms. Van Roy. Thank you very much. Let's start in the order of Simba, Tashriq, and Ziad. Simba, what message of encouragement do you want to express to your fellow classmates, not just classmates, but the matrics of 2020 in our country?
The message I want to give matriculants is that they must have a tunnel vision. Have a one goal, like Ms. Van Roy said, that you want to achieve and that you should achieve, and stop at nothing to get that goal.
Beautifully short and sweet, Simba. I love that. Ziad?
What I would say, you work, all your efforts, it won't go unseen, and you will emerge victorious, and you will emerge valiant. That's all.
Fantastic. Tashriq? Your mic is muted.
So, just a short message. Just stay strong, keep your head above the water, and just know yourself and know that you are capable of doing anything if you put your mind to it, and work hard no matter what challenges you are faced with in life. Push it to the side. If any challenge that come your way, just push it to the side and tell yourself, this is me, this is my life, and I can do it.
Thank you. Fantastic. Can you guys imagine 10 or 20 years from now, you'd be able to tell yourself, we were that class of 2020 that conquered, that came out victorious. Think about it this way. There's not one class of 20 or one matric class in the history of mankind that actually that conquered a global pandemic such as this. And so this is history in the making. I mean, you guys, and what makes it even more significant is the fact that this group or your group were able to seek the good and to actively pursue goodness instead of focusing on the negativity. And so, guys, my message before I do that, Andrea Croy says, I'm a proud parent. I'm proud to be a parent of a pupil at the school. Okay, hopefully this will rub off on the rest of the students. Well done, guys. So there's quite a number of parents that are also super proud of you guys. Cecile Kane, I salute the parents, guardians of raising such fine young men and women. Eleanor Null says, picking up on Simba's comment, tunnel vision in this context refer to focus on this goal to pass matric and make this first priority. Well said, Simba. That comes from Miss Eleanor Null. And so there's quite a number of questions, comments that you can go and look at once we conclude here or at your own leisure. So I almost said colleagues, but guys, and soon Tashriq will be a colleague of ours, because you're going to pursue education, and one of these days you'll become a teacher and principal and director, and who knows, minister. I mean, you're unstoppable. You guys are unstoppable. So guys, allow me at this stage just to say thank you very much for allowing us to come into your households and to reaching into your hearts to share your stories. This is an absolute privilege that we had to chat to all of you. Ms. Van Roy, thank you very much for making this possible. Thank you to Mrs. Diane Morgan, the principal of Windsor High School, for allowing us to onto the premises and to make this happen, to initiate the conversation. Thank you to Riksa, thank you Ziad, thank you Simba. I wish you guys nothing but success upon success as you continue to just shine and inspire and empower us with your hearts, with your character, because I believe that this is man, words fail me at this stage when people do this, it really warms the soul. And these things cannot be fake. This is part of character. This is part of who you are. And so it speaks largely also to your upbringing, to the households, to the parents, that you came from. And so I salute your parents, I salute your teachers for turning you guys into such fine and astute gentlemen, and I wish you success upon success. Mr. Roy, thank you very much for your time as well, and God bless each and every single one of you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, guys, that was the conversation. So I stopped the live feed on Facebook. Thank you very much once again. This was amazing. How did we do for time? I think 37 minutes, not too bad. So yeah, thank you once again. And I wish you nothing but the best. And may you guys just keep on shining, man. You guys make us proud. And I'm going to keep on checking in on you guys via the principal to make sure, or just to check on how everything is going. And if we at any stage as a platform can assist the school with future initiatives, programs, sharing of relevant information, please contact us. We have access to over 26,000 followers, which are all in the education space. So make use of us. It's free. And it's not just for teachers, it's for the school, it's for learners, but make use of us. We want to hold hands and come alongside one another so that we can grow each other daily, because I don't believe that this story is unique in its kind. We just happen to expose this one. And so there might be other schools that create similar successes in their context, but we often don't get to hear of it. So if you know of people or stories such as these, or even others that you feel we can share on the platform, please reach out to us. Okay. All right,
Okay.
your mics are muted,
Okay.
so I'm assuming you're saying okay by virtue of
Yes,
your
Yeah.
yes.
Okay, guys, so keep well, all the
Okay,
best.
go well.
You too.
God
Okay.
bless.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
You too.
See you.
Goodbye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.